Hi, welcome to our channel of Audiobooks. Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Continuing Education, Certificate Programs, Certificate in Food and Nutrition, CFN1 You and Your Food. Block 2, Food Choice, Preparation and Preservation. Unit-8, Let US ensure taste and nutrient retention. Most of the food items that we consume daily have to be cooked to make them easily digestible, attractive and tasty. However, during the cooking of food, some of the important nutrients are destroyed. In this unit, you will learn to retain the nutrients in the food you cook, while ensuring its taste as well. This will be shown to you by the various methods of preparing food. 8.0 Objectives. After studying this unit, you will able to identify the methods of food preparation and cooking which are suitable for different foods. Describe the methods of preparing and cooking different kinds of foods. Compare different cooking methods with regard to the effects they have on the nutrients in foods, and list the qualities of cooked foods which make them tasty and nourishing. 8.1 Introduction. In Units 1 and 2, you have learnt what food is, why we eat it and how important it is for our health and well-being. You have also read that food provides us with the essential nutrients required by our body. Most of the foods like cereals, pulses, vegetables, meat, etc. have to be cooked before eating. Cooking makes them tasty, colorful, attractive and easily digestible. However, if proper care is not taken during cooking, certain nutrients may be destroyed even though food may be tasty, colorful and attractive to eat. It is, therefore, important to take care that the nutrients do not get destroyed while cooking the food. Only then would they be of nutritional benefit to us. In this unit we are going to see what are the methods of preparing, cooking and combining foods so that they are nutritious and attractive, as well as tasty. Food is prepared and cooked to make it nutritious, attractive and tasty. Figure 8.1, Food Preparation Methods. Look at the screen for table content. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU. 8.2 Preparing foods for cooking. In India, different kinds of foods are available in different parts of the country, depending on the climate and the seasons. Just as eating habits of people differ in different regions, methods of preparing foods for cooking also differ. While all methods may be used to some extent everywhere, some methods are used more often than others. Common among them are peeling, cutting, chopping, slicing, grating, pounding, grinding, soaking, sprouting, fermenting, mixing and so on. Let's try to study the methods listed above and see how they can be used for various foods. Cleaning. Cleaning includes washing, removal of undesirable components. Washing with water removes the dirt and pesticide remnants from the surface of fruits and vegetables. Cleaning also includes discarding the dried, yellow, withered leaves, spoilt and soggy portions from the fruits and vegetables, insects, debris and gravel from cereals and pulses. 2. Peeling. Fresh fruits and vegetables all have a firm outer skin or peel, which protects the inside portions. When this skin is removed, either before cooking or eating the fruit or vegetable, it is known as peeling. Peeling is especially necessary when the skin is blemished or dirty, too tough to digest or spoils the taste when cooked with a vegetable. Most fruits and vegetables e.g., ghia, tinda, kathara are peeled before cooking, while some can be cooked with their skins on, like potatoes, brinjals, tomatoes, etc. 3. Cutting. Most of the fruits and vegetables are cut before use. Cutting increases the surface area of the food, exposes it to the air or heat source in cooking and helps to cook it evenly and faster. Cutting in different shapes and sizes helps to create variety in the form of the cooked food. 4. Pounding. This is basically crushing a food to flatten it to reduce its thickness for easier cooking. Examples are pounding of rice in a mortar or beating down of meat pieces to flatten them for frying, etc. Pounding foods like meat helps to make them tender and easy to cook. Grinding. This is a method of reducing foods to a very fine form. Dry foods such as spices, cereals and grains are ground to a powder. Most foods are ground to a paste like chutneys or dal pastes for making varas, etc. Soaking. Most whole pulses and legumes are soaked for a few hours to soften them for quicker cooking. 7. Sprouting. This is another word for germinating. This method is used for whole pulses, legumes and grains. After preliminary soaking, they are loosely covered by a damp cloth and allowed to germinate. The sprouted product is used in salads, chaat, etc. 8. Mixing. This is a simple method of food preparation in which different ingredients are prepared in a fine form and blended together. 4. Example: fruit and milk in a milkshake, curd and water in lassi, dhala and rice in khichdi, spices in garam masala and so on. The above methods used separately or in combination can help to produce a lot of variety in shape, form, texture, flavor and sometimes even color by mixing different foods creatively before and during cooking. 9. Fermenting. This is a process by which food grain or cereal flours are mixed together with pulse pastes and allowed to become sour. In North India, the word khamir is used. Some examples of fermentation are seen in the preparation of doughs for bread, bhatura or mixtures for idli, dosa, dhokla, etc. Curd is also prepared by fermentation. The products of fermentation are soft, spongy and sour. Practical activity 1A. List the foods that are available in your area in A. Summer, B. Rainy season, C. Winter. B. Take one of your favorite foods in each season and cut them into different shapes and sizes. C. Cook the prepared food. D. See which form you like to eat. Maybe you like more than one form for the sake of variety in your meals. Practical activity 2A. Select one food from each food group, as learnt in the previous unit. B. Prepare each food using different methods that you have just learnt. C. Try to combine the prepared foods together on a plate and see which are the most colorful combinations. D. Share your experiences with your friends. C. Find out how other people prepare their foods. Try to learn one new method every week. 8.3. Cooking methods. Just as there are many ways of preparing foods, there are also many ways of cooking them. Cooking usually requires heat, which is applied in one of the following two ways. Moist heat method. The process of transferring heat from a sauce to a food through the medium of water is called moist heating. Dry heat method. The process of transferring heat directly from a sauce to a food is known as dry heat method. In addition to moist and dry heat methods, foods are also prepared by sautéing and frying as depicted in Table 8.1. Table 8.L List of cooking methods which fall into the two groups mentioned above. Look at the screen for table content. Moist heat I, boiling 2, simmering 3, blanching 4, steaming V, pressure cooking Y, poaching 7, stewing dry heat I, roasting 2, grilling 3, toasting 4, baking other methods I, sautéing 2, frying. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU. 8.3.1 Moist heat methods I, boiling, cooking foods in water which is bubbling constantly over the food in a pan. We use this method for cooking potatoes and other vegetables, eggs, rice, etc. The temperature of the water is 100 degrees Celsius when it boils. Practical activity 3A. Take 4 medium-sized potatoes in a pan. B. Add enough water to cover the potatoes. C. Place the pan on the fire and allow the water, liquid, to boil. D. Note the time when the water starts bubbling over the potatoes. E. Let the potatoes boil till they are tender. F. Test this with a knife. If the knife goes smoothly into the potato, it is cooked. G. Note the time again. See how long it has taken to cook potatoes by boiling. 2. Simmering. When foods are cooked in water or liquid which is not bubbling vigorously as in boiling, the method of cooking is called simmering. The body of the water or liquid shows very tiny bubbles coming to the surface and breaking. This method takes longer to cook food than boiling. By this method, the food retains its shape better and nutrient losses are less. Practical activity 4. Repeat activity 3, but this time cook potatoes by simmering, using the same pan and amount of water. Make sure that potatoes of the same size are cooked to the same tenderness as in the activity above. Note how much longer potatoes take to cook by simmering. 3. Blanching. In this method of cooking, the food is usually dipped in boiling water for 5 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on the texture of the food. The purpose of this method is to remove peels of fruits, vegetables, nuts, etc. easily without changing their texture too much. For soft juicy fruits and vegetables, the blanching can also be done by pouring boiling water on the food and then leaving it immersed in the water for some time before peeling. Whichever method is used, the hot food is then dipped in cold water. This makes the peel shrink and then it can be removed easily, keeping the fruits or vegetables intact. This method is generally used for tomatoes. Practical activity 5A. Take a firm ripe tomato. B. With a sharp pointed knife, remove the stem portion and add the rounded end mark across. C. Boil water in a pan. D. Dip the tomato in boiling water and count 3. E. Take the tomato out and immerse it in cold water. You will find the skin of the tomato curling back where you had marked across. F. Pull back the skin and see how easily it will peel off, leaving the tomato hard enough to be sliced. G. Try the method on other fruits as well. 4. Steaming. This method requires food to be placed in a vessel in which steam can enter and cook the food. The steam is generated by boiling water in a pan and another pan is placed in water. The second pan contains the food to be cooked. The food does not come in direct contact with the water in the outer pan. The steam is produced by the boiling water, and this rises to come into contact with the food. Practical activity 6. Repeat the previous activity and steam potatoes without putting them in the water. Note the time required to cook them to the same degree of tenderness. Compare. V. Pressure cooking. This is a method of cooking food by steam, under pressure. It is a quicker method than pan steaming. This is because more heat gets generated if steam is not allowed to escape and pressure develops in the pan. The pressure cooker has been made on this principle. Y. Poaching. This method involves cooking in a small amount of liquid at a temperature just below the boiling point. Simmering. Foods generally poached are eggs, fish, fruits, etc. 7. Stewing. This is a gentle method of cooking in a pan with a tight-fitting lid, using small quantities of liquid to only half cover the food. The food above the liquid surface is cooked by steam and the other half in the liquid is cooked at simmering temperature, 98 degrees Celsius. It is a slow method of cooking and is usually used for cooking meat, dals, etc. 8.3.2 Dry heat methods. As mentioned earlier in 8.3, dry heat methods involve the application of direct heat to the food to be cooked. Fat may be used for cooking such food. However, water or moisture is not used in these methods. I. Roasting. In this method, food is brought into direct contact with the heat source. The food is periodically coated with fat and turned over the fire from time to time to cook it evenly. Roasting can be done on live coals, under a grill, in the tandoor or any other oven. You must have eaten tandoori chicken or fish tikka and kebabs. These are all cooked by roasting. 2. Grilling. The food is placed on a metal grill direct over the source of heat. This method is usually used for tender cuts of meat, poultry or fish, and when foods need to be browned or made crisp on the surface. When bread is browned under a grill or on live coals, the method is called toasting. 3. Baking. Baking requires an oven or tandoor or any equipment in which hot air circulates around the food placed in it. The action of dry heat is combined with the steam generated from the food during cooking. Baked foods are generally crisp and brown on top but soft and spongy inside, e.g., biscuits, cookies and cakes. 8.3.3 Other methods of cooking foods. Sautéing. This method involves cooking food in just enough fat or oil to coat the base of the pan in which the cooking is done. The food is tossed occasionally or turned over to enable the pieces to come into contact with the oil or fat and get evenly cooked. The pan is usually covered with a lid to let the steam given off by the food help to cook it faster and evenly. Usually vegetables, small pieces of meat and pulses are cooked by this method. After sautéing, liquids may be added if gravy is required. This method of cooking helps to keep pieces separated in the cooked dish. 2. Frying. Frying is cooking food by immersing it fully or partly in hot fat or oil till it is of golden brown color and has a crisp feel. When completely immersed, the method is known as deep frying, as in making samosa, purees, etc. When the food is partly immersed, it is called shallow frying, as for potato tikki or besan pura / etc. In India, foods are generally fried in a kadai, using a perforated ladle. Quite often a single method of cooking is not used for cooking food. A combination of methods may be used. Let's do the following activity and see what kind of cooking methods are usually combined for food preparations at home. Practical Activity 7.1. Observe food being cooked in your home. Write down the methods used to cook. A. Potato bhaji. B. Dhal. C. Chapat. D. Halwa. 2. Select 2 dishes that you like best and describe the cooking methods used in their preparation. 8.4. Effect of pre-cooking methods on quality of food. You already know the methods of preparing foods for cooking. Now we will examine how these methods affect food texture, taste, flavor and nutrients. 8.4.1. Peeling. Most of the vitamins and flavor compounds in fruits and vegetables are water-soluble. These also lie near the peel or skin. In peeling food, the moisture comes to the surface and some of these elements are lost. This is why peeled foods lose their flavor quickly and dry up and shrivel or shrink easily. The foods also become tender to handle, and enzymes and microorganisms can act more easily to spoil the food. The air comes into contact with the food and oxidative changes take place. These changes affect the color, texture and nutritive quality of food. Vitamin C and B other nutrients easily destroyed. Carbohydrates, protein and minerals are not affected. To retain freshness, taste, flavor, and the nutritive value of food, remember 2. 1. Peel only if it is a must. 2. Peel just before cooking. 3. Peel as thinly as possible. 4. Wash food well and drain before peeling. 5. Never wash after peeling. 8.4.2. Cutting, chopping, slicing. Cutting foods in any form or size exposes more surface area of the food to air, microorganisms and enzyme action. The finer the cutting, the greater are the nutrient losses. Cutting with an iron knife enhances the iron content but makes cut foods brown easily. 1. Cut after washing or straight after peeling. 2. Cut into medium-sized pieces and not very small ones. 3. Don't expose cut foods to air for long. 4. Don't leave the food too long after cooking. 5. Use stainless steel knives, choppers or slicers to maintain natural color. 6. Cut with a sharp knife to get even edges and good shapes. Practical Activity 8. A. Take some potatoes. Wash and peel with a stainless steel knife or peeler. B. Leave it aside for 20 to 30 minutes. C. Peel another potato and cut it into chunks and leave it aside for some time. D. Chop another peeled potato into fine pieces or thin slices and leave it aside for some time. E. Repeat Activity 8 but use an iron knife. F. Compare the intensity of browning in the different samples of potato and record your observations. 8.4.3 Pounding. With pounding, food gets beaten out of its original shape, but the product gets tender, especially in the case of meat. It loses some of its moisture and thereby some surface vitamins. Proteins and minerals are not affected. The complex carbohydrates like cellulosic fibers get broken down mechanically and help in quicker cooking and digestion. In cereals, some outer layers of the grains may be destroyed along with the loss of B vitamins. Food should be washed, dried and then pounded. 8.4.4 Grinding. When water is used in grinding a food, losses of flavor and nutrients take place. Textural and color changes also occur. In some foods, however, flavor gets enhanced if dry grinding is done after roasting, as in freshly ground coffee, or spices like cumin, jeera, or dhals as in sambar powder. Find out from your mother or friends why they grind some foods. They will probably tell you that the flavor improves by doing so. Foods are generally ground for mixing with other foods or ingredients in order to give them a better flavor and also for obtaining different textures. 8.4.5 Soaking. When food is soaked in water and the water is discarded, water-soluble nutrients get leached out. The food absorbs water and becomes soft and can then be more easily cooked and digested. The flavors, however, are lost only if the soaking is prolonged and the water discarded. Remember: 1. To soak in a small amount of water to cover the food. 2. Not to soak too long. 3. Not to throw away soaking liquid. 8.4.6 Sprouting. Although there are some losses in soaking, these losses are counteracted by sprouting. When a pulse or grain sprouts or germinates, vitamin C and B complex vitamins are enhanced. Soaking is an important method of providing these vitamins in the diet, especially when fresh green vegetables are not in season. The other advantages of sprouting are the improved color, soft texture and fresh flavor. The toxic substances in foods also get removed by inactivation and taste is thus improved. 8.4.7 Fermentation. In this method, the food acquires a sour taste and a soft, spongy texture. The types of foods mixed together determine the nutritional quality of the fermented product. Usually the method helps to improve digestibility of proteins and enhances the amount of B-complex vitamins. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU. 8.4.8 Mixing. The type of foods mixed together will determine the quality characteristics of the mixture. In order to mix, all foods must be in a fine form. The texture and flavor of a mixture will depend on the nature of the components of the mixture and whether they are ground, grated or chopped before mixing. Some mixtures are consumed immediately after mixing, as for instance lassi. The nutritive value will depend on the amount of curd or cream, sugar or salt in the mixture. Again, in a cereal pulse mixture, the nutrients of each of the foods will determine the nutrients of the mixed food. Practical Activity 9. Make a list of foods which are mixed together and eaten as such or cooked together and eaten. Check your progress. Exercise 1-1. What is the effect of cutting, chopping, slicing and soaking on the nutrient content of food? 2. What are the advantages of sprouting and fermentation? 8.5. Effects of cooking methods on food. Moist methods of cooking lead to greater losses of nutrients than dry methods. Some nutrients, however, are stable to heat compared to others. Hence, nutrient quality of the food depends on the duration, time and temperature of cooking. Foods which contain plenty of moisture in them, like green leafy vegetables, courgettes, torrei, gourd, etc., lose more through leaching than low moisture, hard textured foods. Losses are greater if salt is added to the cooking water and the water discarded. Some of the natural color of foods also gets leached out or decomposed in the presence of acids used during cooking. Green vegetables improve their color if cooked uncovered for the first 5 minutes because the volatile acids escape. Quick cooking of greens is, therefore, recommended for retention of nutrients. Taste, flavor and texture are also better with dry methods of cooking, because the high temperatures used in such methods make the outer surface crisp and store the flavor, moisture and nutrients. The texture is crisp on the outside and tender inside. People generally think fried foods are not so nourishing. This is not true. If they are cooked at the right temperature and for short time, they are excellent in their qualities. Fried foods are difficult to digest only when you are sick. Moist methods are good for the retention of nutrients. If simmering temperatures are used in cooking and the liquids are used up for making curries, dals, soups, etc., then the nutrients do not get wasted. For high protein foods like meat, fish and poultry, hot dry methods are preferable. A combination of dry and moist methods are often used in India for making items such as bhajis and curries. Check your progress. Exercise 2. 1. Which method of cooking, moist heat or dry, leads to a greater loss of nutrients? 2. How can you improve nutrient retention in the moist heat method? Practical activity 10. 1. List the methods of cooking used for the following foods in your home. A. Rice. B. Wheat/jawar/bajra/maize/ragi. C. Dal. D. Milk. E. Green leafy vegetables. F. Other vegetables. 2. Observe and record the changes in volume, texture and color in the preparation mentioned in 1. 8.6. Let us sum up. Most foods require some kind of preparation and cooking before they are consumed. This is because most foods cannot be eaten as such in a raw state, and require to be washed, prepared and cooked for consumption and easy digestion. 2. Heat treatment during cooking renders the food safe for consumption. 3. Some methods like sprouting and fermentation help to enhance the nutritive quality of foods. 4. Combining different methods and cooking creatively enhance interest and variety in meals. Moist methods of cooking lead to greater nutrient losses, as do high temperatures and long periods of cooking. Addition of acidic and alkaline materials during cooking affects the texture of the foods. Acids give firmer texture while alkalis break down the cellulose of plants and make food mushy. The methods and ingredients chosen should be governed by the texture, color and taste desired. For retention of taste and nutrients, the following guidelines are helpful. 1. Wash foods well and cook with peels intact wherever possible. 2. Try to peel thin. 3. Wash before cutting, not after. 4. Prepare foods just before cooking. 5. Do not discard soaking or cooking liquids. Cook quickly and at lowest possible temperature. 6. Select seasonal foods for the best color, flavor and nutrients. 7. Choose the right cooking methods for the food being cooked. 8. For maintaining natural colors of foods, especially brinjals, potatoes, apples, bananas, etc. Use a stainless steel knife and cover these foods with a damp cloth or immerse them in salt water or syrup before cooking. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU. 8.7 Glossary Sieving, process of passing food through a mesh with holes to separate impurities and dirt. Chopping, cutting to divide into very fine pieces. Drying, removal of water or moisture from foods. 8.8 Answers to Check Your Progress exercises. Check Your Progress exercise 1. Cutting, chopping, slicing. Cutting foods in any form or size exposes more surface area of the food to air, microorganisms, and enzyme action. This results in nutrient losses. The finer the cutting, the greater are the losses. Soaking. When food is soaked in water and the water is discarded, water-soluble nutrients are lost. 2. Advantages of sprouting and fermentation. A. Vitamin C and B complex are enhanced. B. There is an improvement in color, texture and flavor. C. The toxic substances in foods are removed by inactivation and taste is improved. Advantages of fermentation. This method helps to improve digestibility of proteins and enhances the content of vitamin B complex. Check Your Progress exercise 2. Moist heat method. 2. Nutrient retention can be improved if simmering temperatures are used for cooking and liquids are not discarded but used for making curries, dals, soups, etc. Thank you. We will see you in the next video.